I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
The WNBA All Star Game was set to shine a spotlight on its fiercest rivals, but Angel Reese's bold stunt stole the show, sparking a tidal wave of backlash. As fans eagerly anticipated the epic showdown, Caitlin Clark's absence left a void that Reese tried to fill with flashy marketing and bold claims. But instead of applause, she faced harsh criticism and an unforgiving chorus declaring, "She's no Caitlin Clark." So what happened behind the scenes? Let's dive deep into the drama and the fallout. The fall of a dream weekend. The WNBA All Star Weekend in Indianapolis was supposed to be a game changer, a historic moment that would put women's basketball firmly in the spotlight like never before. Everything seemed to be falling perfectly into place. The arena was packed with excited fans ready to witness history. Hotels in the city were fully booked, buzzing with visitors from all over the country who had planned this trip for months. Restaurants were staffed and stocked, preparing for the huge crowds expected to flood the streets. Corporate sponsors had invested heavily, backing what everyone hoped would be the biggest and most exciting women's basketball event yet. At the heart of all this excitement was one highly anticipated matchup: Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Their rivalry wasn't just a headline, it was the storyline everyone wanted to see unfold. Their fierce competition had been brewing since their college days, and fans were eager to watch these two stars face off on one of the sport's biggest stages. This wasn't just another game. It was supposed to be the crown jewel of the WNBA, the moment women's basketball broke through into the mainstream sports culture with a bang. But then, just days before the weekend's games were set to tip off, disaster struck. Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest star and the fan favorite, suffered a serious groin injury. It was a blow that no one wanted to hear. Forced to pull out of the All-Star Weekend, Clark's absence left a giant hole in the event's heart and soul. Without her, the buzz and energy that had been building up suddenly vanished. The hype that had carried the weekend on its shoulders lost its power. Fans, many of whom had traveled long distances, were left crushed and disappointed. For many, seeing Clark play was the entire reason for making the trip to Indianapolis. Meanwhile, the marketing campaigns that had been rolling out with great fanfare suddenly came to a halt. Sponsors and advertisers were caught off guard as the event's main draw was now sidelined. Local businesses, which had been gearing up for a boom in sales from thousands of basketball fans, faced the grim reality of reduced foot traffic and lower revenues. What was meant to be a celebration of the WNBA's rapid growth and growing influence quickly turned into a sobering reminder. The league's success still depends heavily on just a few superstar players. Caitlin Clark's injury showed just how fragile the momentum is. The entire weekend, once full of promise and excitement, now stood as a cautionary tale, a moment that revealed just how much one player's presence can affect not only the game on the court, but the entire ecosystem around it. The WNBA faced a tough truth. Without Caitlin Clark, the spotlight dims. What happened on the court in her absence? Did someone else step up? And how did Angel Reese's bold takeover campaign backfire? Let's explore the full story and fallout. A marketing gamble gone wrong. When Caitlin Clark was suddenly sidelined with an injury, a huge opportunity seemed to open up for Angel Reese. Her team didn't hesitate. They launched a full-on, high-energy marketing blitz with Reebok at the center of it all. Bright, eye-catching billboards popped up around Indianapolis, the very city where Clark had become a hometown hero. On the streets, Reese's campaign felt like a takeover, backed by a confident slogan that screamed dominance. Walk in your trap. Take over your trap. But here's the twist. The trap Reese was talking about was none other than Clark's basketball kingdom, the city of Indianapolis. And the rival she was targeting wasn't even there to defend it. Caitlin Clark, the shining star and fan favorite, was forced to sit out due to injury. What was supposed to be an exciting, empowering launch for Reese ended up coming off more like a provocative taunt. It was a bold move, but one that quickly raised eyebrows. The reaction was swift and loud. Social media exploded with fans and commentators noticing the strange timing and tone. Instead of rallying behind Reese, many felt the campaign was out of touch and opportunistic. The billboards and flashy ads looked like empty boasts because the person Reese was trying to challenge wasn't on the court to respond. The crowds at Reese's launch events were smaller than expected, and the energy felt forced, lacking the genuine excitement that usually comes with big reveals. Analysts weren't kind either. They pointed out that Reese seemed to be shadowboxing, throwing punches at an invisible opponent, fighting a battle where the other fighter wasn't even present. It was like stepping into an empty ring and swinging wildly without anyone there to catch the blows. Instead of showing sportsmanship or elevating the moment, Reese's campaign came off as tone-deaf, almost like trying to claim victory in a match she wasn't winning. What made matters worse was Reese's refusal to change course. Even after the backlash started piling up, she and her team kept pushing the same aggressive message. There was no pivot, no softening of the tone, just a continuous push to dominate a stage that, without Clark, felt half-empty. This stubbornness turned what could have been a smart, strategic branding moment into a public relations disaster. Instead of sharing the spotlight and building anticipation for a future showdown, Reese tried to hijack the narrative and make it all about herself. However, the reaction was the exact opposite of what she had hoped for. Rather than applause and cheers, she met criticism and disappointment. Fans who were excited for a genuine rivalry were left unimpressed. Many saw the whole campaign as more about opportunism than competition, a marketing stunt lacking heart and respect. Angel Reese's bold campaign backfired, striking many as tone-deaf and opportunistic. But the bigger question remains: does Reese truly have what it takes to rival Caitlin Clark on the big stage? Let's dive into her WNBA journey, the records she's breaking, and the history she's already making. From rookie to record breaker, Angel Reese's rookie season in the WNBA has been nothing short of historic, filled with jaw-dropping performances and record-breaking feats that have not only stunned fans but carved her name into the league's history books. From dominating the boards to redefining what it means to be a rookie sensation, Reese is proving she's more than just hype. She's a rising force shaping the future of women's basketball. Between June 22nd and June 29th, Reese pulled off something no WNBA player had ever done before. She became the first in league history to record 4 straight games with at least 15 rebounds. That's right, 4 games in a row, she owned the glass, averaging an unbelievable 17.5 rebounds per game during that stretch. It wasn't just consistency, it was pure domination. Each game, she out-hustled and out-muscled her opponents in the paint, showing a relentless hunger for the ball that's become her signature style. But her rebounding wasn't the only thing making headlines. On June 15th, against the Connecticut Sun, Reese delivered a performance that proved her all-around skills. She racked up her very first career triple-double, scoring 11 points, grabbing 13 rebounds, and dishing out 11 assists. This wasn't just another good night on the court, it was a major milestone. Only 19 players in the entire history of the WNBA have ever recorded a triple-double, and Reese, still early in her career, became the second youngest to do it. Even more impressively, she joined an elite club in her franchise, becoming just the 4th player in Chicago Sky history to achieve this milestone. The others? Big names like Courtney Vandersloot, Courtney Williams, and the legendary Candace Parker. Then came June 29th, when Reese took her game to another level during a thrilling win over the Los Angeles Sparks. She posted a monster stat line: 24 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists. This rare combination of stats hadn't been seen in over 13 years in the WNBA. It placed Reese in the company of legends. Only Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie, and Candace Parker had ever put up those kinds of numbers in a single game. That night, Reese didn't just play well. She made history once again. Reese's impact stretches far beyond the hardwood. She's also becoming a powerful presence in sports culture. According to the Griot, Reese graced the cover of the NBA 2K26 WNBA edition, proudly unveiling her signature Reebok shoe in the process. This moment marked a major step in her journey from athlete to cultural icon, emphasizing her growing influence not just in the league, but in the world of branding, fashion, and fan engagement. She's also climbing her team's franchise records. After the June 29th game, Reese passed Stephanie Dolson to take 10th place on the Chicago Sky's all-time rebounding list with 647 rebounds. Just 2 days earlier, on June 27th, she cracked the top 5 for offensive rebounds, tallying 236 career boards. Angel Reese is undeniably on the rise, dominating on the court, making headlines, and breaking records. But is she the WNBA's biggest draw? One superstar's absence led to a nearly 50% crash in all-star ticket sales. Let's uncover what this reveals about real star power and influence in the league. The Caitlin Clark effect. The most eye-opening and striking part of this entire story isn't just the drama or the marketing stunts. It's the cold, hard numbers. The moment news broke that Caitlin Clark would be sidelined due to injury, something remarkable happened. Ticket prices for the WNBA All Star Game didn't just dip slightly, they crashed almost in half. Before her injury was announced, tickets were going for an average of $121. But once fans learned Clark wouldn't be playing, those prices plunged to just $64. That's nearly a 50% drop in value overnight, and it sent shockwaves through the entire weekend. This sudden collapse didn't just hurt ticket sales. It rippled out to impact the whole local economy. Hotels in Indianapolis, which had been packed to the brim with visitors coming specifically to watch Clark, suddenly saw a surge in cancellations. Restaurants that had prepared for bustling crowds noticed fewer diners walking through their doors. Even local shops and entertainment venues felt the pinch, as the wave of excitement that usually surrounds a major sporting event was suddenly dampened. Cities that had been celebrating the WNBA's growing influence and economic impact were now faced with the harsh reality of what happens when the league's brightest star is sidelined. What does this tell us? Caitlin Clark isn't just another player on the court. She's an economic powerhouse. She's the heartbeat of the league's growth and the magnet that draws fans in. This isn't just hype or fan talk. The numbers back it up. Earlier in the season, when Clark missed a series of regular season games due to a quad strain, the impact was dramatic. Ticket resale prices for Indiana Fever road games dropped drastically, by as much as 71% in some cities. This wasn't a small dip in interest. It was a clear, measurable sign that without Clark, the energy around the games shrinks significantly. When Caitlin Clark is playing, it's a different story entirely. Stadiums sell out. Broadcasts pull in record viewership numbers. Media outlets can't stop talking about her incredible performances, and casual sports fans suddenly find themselves tuning in to the WNBA for the first time. She turns casual interest into full-blown passion, and the league benefits tremendously from that attention. The message couldn't be clearer. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's main attraction. She draws in the fans, the headlines, and the dollars. Her absence doesn't just leave a gap. It shakes the league's momentum. While her star power is a major asset, it also exposes a risky over-reliance. The WNBA's success currently hinges too much on one player. This moment highlights both Clark's massive impact and the league's urgent need to develop more stars who can carry the spotlight. Without that balance, the WNBA's future could remain unstable and uncertain. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. She's the WNBA's economic engine. Her absence revealed just how vital she is to the league's success. But what happens when an entire league leans on one player? Let's explore how over-reliance on Clark exposed the WNBA's biggest vulnerability. The fragile future of the WNBA. The story beneath the surface here isn't just about a flashy shoe campaign or one star missing from a big game. It's much deeper. It reveals a fragile truth about the WNBA, one that has quietly been building for a while. Right now, the league is leaning heavily, maybe even too heavily, on the incredible star power of Caitlin Clark. She has become the central figure carrying the league's hopes and dreams for growth and mainstream success. But when the spotlight shines so brightly on just one player, it creates risks. And Angel Reese's recent marketing push failed, not because she lacked skill or talent, but because she tried to take over a moment that simply wasn't hers to own. The recent All-Star weekend laid bare one undeniable fact. A real rivalry can only exist when both competitors are fully engaged. You can't call it a competition if one side isn't even in the ring. When Angel Reese threw shots at Clark while Clark was sidelined with an injury, it didn't look like a rivalry. It looked like opportunism. Aiming at someone who can't fight back is not the mark of a true competitor. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has never had to loudly claim she's the best. Her game and stats have done that for her. Fans, sponsors, and even ticket sales all confirm her immense value. Numbers don't lie, and Clark's impact on the league's growth is backed by data and dollars. Angel Reese might flood social media with bold slogans like, "I'm in your city," but the reality is clear. The fans weren't there for her. They came to watch Caitlin Clark. And when Clark was forced to sit out, a significant portion of the crowd chose to stay away. This wasn't just a temporary stumble or a small public relations problem. It's a lesson, a wake-up call for the entire league. The WNBA cannot keep putting all its eggs in one basket. While it's fantastic to have a transcendent star like Clark, the league must develop more players who can attract fans, build stories, and hold the spotlight when Clark is unavailable. Right now, the league's foundation feels shaky because it depends so much on a single superstar. If Clark goes down again with an injury or takes a break, the ripple effects will be felt across ticket sales, sponsorships, TV ratings, and local economies. Without a diversified group of stars to carry the torch, the WNBA risks losing momentum and struggling to keep fans engaged. In short, the weekend wasn't just about who wore the best shoes or who made the loudest statement. It was about the future of the WNBA itself. It showed how much the league still needs to grow beyond one player, how critical it is to foster more stars who can draw crowds and build rivalries that fans truly believe in. Because a real rivalry needs two fighters in the ring, not one shadowboxing alone. The WNBA's future can't rest on one star alone. The real question now is whether the league can build a foundation strong enough to thrive without any single player. Now let's dive into how the players' protest during Caitlin Clark's absence sparked fan outrage and revealed the league's fragile balancing act: protests, perception, and public backlash. As the WNBA tried to steady itself after the shock of losing its brightest star, Caitlin Clark, due to injury, a new controversy hit the headlines, this time from within the league itself. During the warm-ups before the All Star Game, several players took to the court wearing shirts emblazoned with a bold and clear message: "Pay us what you owe us." This was no ordinary fashion statement. It was a protest. The players were demanding fairer paychecks, better benefits, improved travel conditions, and overall respect for their hard work. These demands were real and justified, reflecting long-standing issues many felt needed urgent attention. However, the timing of this protest couldn't have been worse. Fans were already feeling the sting of disappointment. They had bought tickets, booked trips, and planned their weekends around seeing Clark play. When she was sidelined, the excitement around the All-Star weekend plummeted. Ticket prices dropped, crowds thinned, and the overall buzz took a nosedive. In this already fragile moment, the protest felt to many like a slap in the face. From the fans' perspective, it looked like the players were demanding more money while not delivering the product that had originally attracted their support. The optics were poor. Instead of rallying more support, the protest sparked a wave of online backlash. Social media was flooded with angry comments, memes, and debates. Many fans felt frustrated and confused. How could the players ask for more compensation when ticket prices were collapsing, attendance was low, and their star player was out injured? The valid concerns behind the protest were quickly buried beneath the noise of public resentment. People began focusing less on the issues of fair wages and travel conditions, and more on the timing and tone of the demonstration. This overshadowed the players' message and made it harder for their voices to be heard in a meaningful way. At the same time, the media played its part by twisting the story in unexpected ways. Some commentators tried to frame the situation as if Caitlin Clark needed to intervene, either by speaking out against the protests or by ending the beef between herself and Angel Reese. But here's the thing. Clark said nothing. Not because she was weak or indifferent, but because she chose to stay focused. She didn't need to join the drama. She understood that actions speak louder than words. Clark let her performance on the court do all the talking. With every game, she shattered records and drew in new fans, proving her value time and again without resorting to social media spats or public feuds. Her silence was a statement itself, one of discipline, professionalism, and undeniable talent. In the end, this moment showed the complex challenges facing the WNBA. On one side, players are fighting for fair treatment and respect. On the other hand, fans are craving the excitement and connection that only a superstar like Clark can deliver. And caught in the middle was the league, struggling to balance growth, player demands, and fan expectations, all under a microscope. So, what do you think about Angel Reese's backlash after the All Star Game stunt? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.